Hi, Emmanuel here with T2S. T2S stands for Transformed to Succeed. For more information about Transformed to Succeed, click on the link at the bottom of this screen here, and you'll be taken to the place where you can find more information about what we do at T2S and how we help people change their lives. Today in this video, I'm gonna be talking about IAM. IAM stands for identity, and access management. Access management. It is one of the services that you find on AWS. And AWS is Amazon Web Services, in case you didn't know that. So IAM stands for, you have the I here, that's identity. And then the A is access. M stands for management. So that's what it is. In other words, what you do, you use this service to manage who should access what on AWS. So that is the point. Who should access what on AWS. This is pretty much what you should know about IAM and what the service is all about. Who, then you have access, and what on AWS. A lot of even the other cloud computing platforms, they also have some other way to use this concept. Who should access what on cloud? And this is what we call IAM. Yeah, this is why we have IAM here. So it's pretty much what you need to know about this concept. But now, let's talk about the key concept of IAM. The key concepts of IAM, they are, I would say probably I'll group them into 5. All right, I'll group them into 5. I'm gonna bring that. So number 1, what IAM does, it helps you create users and groups. One of the best practices is that first you create a group, and then you can, different groups, then you can add users to those groups. Keep that in mind. Number 2, with IAM, you can also create roles. So you define who should have access to what on AWS by just attaching roles to these entities. Okay, and these entities could be people like users, or it could be other services. And number 3, the third key concept you need to know about IAM is our policies. So policies, they are written in JSON format. So they are written in JSON format. And what does JSON stand for? It stands for JavaScript object notation. JavaScript or object notation. So that's so you have J, you have S, you have O, and then you have JSON. And these policies, they define so they define what I said, who should have access to what on AWS. Just as a summary, right? That's pretty much what you need to know about that. Then you have number 4, you have federation. And when you talk about federation, you're looking at a way that can allow users from outside AWS, like corporate users or users from another AWS account, to access AWS resources using IAM roles. Okay, so you're gonna use IAM roles to define to kind of like set up some of these federation users. And number five, you have MFA. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. MFA is a way to, it's another layer of authentication or security. You use like a third party tool or something else to you ask the user to authenticate themselves. Either they may receive a text message, they may receive they may use an application on their phone, on their cell phones this application will generate a code, and then they will use that code on their account to say that this is me. So you have to provide that code. So it's like when you make a call to your bank, and you want to log into your bank account. The bank account will send you a code as part of a text message, asking you to identify yourself by using that code, and you have to enter that code, and then the system will compare the code that they generated and what they have there to say, hey, this is who this user claims to be. That's multi-authentication, multi-factor authentication. And then these are the concepts that you need to know about IAM. In this video, my goal is not to prove all of these concepts, but I just wanted to get to a point of helping you create like an IAM user and a role. And then what we want to do specifically, I want to generate an access. We want to generate an access key, and then we will generate a secret key. So why do we need to do this? So you need an existing IAM user to be able to generate this. And when you generate this, you're gonna get these numbers, these two numbers here. So you get these two keys. There may be a combination of numbers and other characters. So you have these two keys so that you can kind of like configure. You're gonna configure your local machine. You'll configure your local machine to communicate with AWS. And for you to do that, first you're gonna need to install AWS CLI. You're gonna need to install that. So you need to install. I'll say installation. And there's a lot of documentation. There's not a lot of documentation, but there's documentation on AWS on how you can do this. Let me take you to the website here. So you just go here to this link here. You're gonna find it here. Depending on what operating system you use, you're gonna just follow the steps. Like in my case, it's Mac OS. If you have Windows here, you just go to the Windows tab here, click here, and then follow the steps. And it's easy to do. Once it is installed, you're gonna just, if you do like AWS, you should get this, something like this, you see. So otherwise it will say AWS command, something like command not found. That's how it works. But if it's installed, then you're gonna get there. And then the point of the part of this video is to take you to this level here. So you're gonna get to this here, and this is where we need the access key. You see, I've already configured my system to communicate with AWS, but I'll walk you through, and to get these are the two things that we need. We're gonna need these two here. Let's go back to the website, and then I'll show you how you can do all of this. First, what we need to do is to go to here, search for IAM, and click here to go to the dashboard. And on the dashboard, if you look to the left column here, so you see access management, you have user groups, you have users, you have roles, you have policies, and so on and so forth. So let's say we want to create a new user. That's because that's what we need, right? We will create a new user, and we are going to call this like T2S user. So let's say that, and then once you decide on the name, following the convention naming process you may have in place at your company, you do that. Because sometimes they may say you're gonna start first with the username here. Username, you're gonna say like first name, and then last name, then dash T2S, and then maybe they can say DevOps. So this could be the convention naming, all right, process. But in our case, we'll just say DevOps, T2S DevOps. Yeah, this should work. Okay, so we're gonna stick with this. And then here you have the option of saying, do you want to provide user access to the AWS Management Console? Management Console, this is the Management Console here. See that? Yeah, this is it. So you can see that user interface, like the GUI, the graphical aspect of your dashboard. Okay, you see the letters, the images, and stuff like that. All right, so we will not provide user access because we don't want that. Okay, then go next here, and then here you can decide, do you want to add it to a group, or do you want to create a group? In our case, we don't want to add to any group. What we want to do, we're gonna just attach policies here. One of the best practices, create groups, because when you're dealing with like 5,000 users, it's easier to create first a group, assign policies to the group, and then you can add users as you go along to the appropriate groups. So in our case, we want to give this user administrative access. Is we want that. And why? If you click here, and this is the JSON file that I told you, and you can see it here. See here, that's the JSON, JavaScript object notation. And what it does, it allow this user to do, that's action. See here, action to do. And when you have a star here, that's a wild card, meaning that they can do anything, right? And here, on anything. This is not advisable. You always give the least privilege, permissions, or to the user. But I'm using this because what we need to do, because I want this user to be the administrator of the entire company here on AWS. So that's the point here. You click the minus sign here, so you go back here, and this is what we want. But in a real work environment, there'll be limitations. So you never give total, access to a user. No, never do that. Okay, never do that. But here they have this. This has been attached also to different things here. So entities, like you have users and you have groups here. Okay, so we have selected our policy, and once you do that, you go here next, click next, and this is the user that we want to create, right? We want to give them administrator access, and then click create user. And our user has been created. This is our user here. T2S Cloud what? So let me refresh here. So we're gonna refresh here and view user. So this is our user, the T2S DevOps, right? We've created. And now, the next thing that we want to do is to come here, create access key. So if you go back, we have disabled this person, this user will never be able to go to this management console here, but they can access every single resource on our account using the access key. So I click here to create the access keys, and you come to this window here, access key best practices. What we want to do for them, you have different ways that you can approach this, but we want this specific user to use the CLI. So then I'm gonna select that. But these are the other ways that you can use this. So I've done that, and then click understand the above recommendation and want to proceed to create an access key. All right. So go back here, click next. You can give a tag value here if you want, but I would not. Create access key. So I click create access key, and here what you can do, you can download a CSV file here. Just click here, because you're gonna need to save that, right? In my case, what I usually do, I can show this to you if I want, because I'm gonna delete this user here in a moment. So I have the access key here. In my case, what I always do, I always save my users I always save them. I always save them someplace, and then when I do that, and that's to help me remember what I have. And then you're gonna have to specify that, okay, this is the key, the access key, and then you say the secret key, secret access key here. So I'm not showing this to you because I'm copying this. I copy that and then I save it someplace. You use a notepad or someplace. Always document your things here. All right, so we have that, and that's done. You have downloaded the CSV file, then just click done, because well, you need to do that. And here you have a link if you want to give this person a way to sign in. That's the link that you give them. And if you want to enable console access, you just click here. But we will not do that. And this is the MFA that I told you about, and which I will not do in this video, in this demo. And if you want to create another key, you just click here, create access key. So it's pretty much what you need to know about this. You can add more stuff by just going down the page here, and which I will not do. But what I wanted to show you is I want to use the the CLI. So I'll close that. So let's go to the console. So now we want to go to configure. You use this command here. This is where you enter your keys. You're gonna see my access key, and that's fine because I told you that I'll delete them. So then you go to that secret access key. You're gonna have to input it there. These are things that you don't need to show people. I'm showing you this because I'm gonna delete this user after at the end of the demo. Okay, then press enter, and you select the region name here. In my case, it's this one here. So I'll just press enter because it's default there, and then the output format, I'll just press enter, and that is done. That is done. So now, if you clear the screen, so what we have done, we have given T2S DevOps user access to our account using CLI. They cannot log into the into our management console and see the user interface, like the graphics, the images, and to see they can't see this, no, but they will only be able to access everything that we have on our account just using the CLI command line interface. So let's say if they want to, list S3 buckets. So you see, because we have no S3 bucket created. So I'm gonna go back to our thing here, our console. So let's go to S3 bucket. We don't have a bucket here. I'm gonna create just one here for the sake of our demo here. I go down here, click create. So we have a bucket. This is the name. So let's go back to our VSC, to our code, and then recall this command. And now we're gonna see this one here. You see, we just created this, and now our user they have access to see this bucket. You know, now I see this because I'm a different user. So let me show you who I am. So I'm different here. This is the account, but I'm a different user. This is T2S-Cloud, not DevOps, so it's different. But now they can also access every resource that we have on our account using this. And just to prove you that this is amazing, I'll create another bucket. So let's create another bucket. Just keep playing here. So I'm gonna do this and I'll say other bucket, like that. Click here, create. It's complaining. So let's say number 2 here. Number 2, create. It's not accepting, it's the underscore. So I'll say that. Say that it's accepting this. So this is another name, right? So let's go back now. This is the second bucket we've just created, right? You see the time differences here. The first one, the second one. So let's go back to the to our command line here, and we are on our command line here, and then I'm gonna recall the command to ls list all of our S3 buckets. So you're gonna see now 2 buckets here. See? This is the other bucket just created. It's amazing, right? All right, so this is pretty much the end of our demo here. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you some, and I'll see you in the next one.